Haven't you exposed the fact that when they're looking at the cost of so-called renewables, some people call them unreliables, but the renewables, the cost of renewables, when the CSIRO did their assessment of the cost of this, they ignored the cost of transmission lines and the cost of any storage of electricity, which completely gave the wrong costing of so-called renewables.
Yeah, you're certainly right. Look, renewables can work and they can be very, very cheap and efficient. The problem is you need to be able to store them, as you said. Now, the problem with it is that the way Australia should do it, this is my opinion, is we should basically have localised storage. So every suburb of every city in Australia should have their own battery. And what that would mean is you don't have to build these ginormous, transmission lines, hundreds of kilometres, which would cost billions and billions of dollars, to a ginormous battery storage place somewhere. That's the way we should be doing it. Alternatively, we should simply, have renewables like rooftop solar and all the other stuff we have. And when we don't have enough of that, we should have cheap gas supply to then provide the firming power, to then provide, so the backup power, to provide the electricity so we can get cheap electricity there when the renewables fail. Now, the reason why gas is so good as a firming power source is because it can basically be started up instantly. So the problem with the coal-fired power plant is that it can take a day to fire up because you've got to boil it, and so you can't just turn it off and on quickly. Whereas gas you can basically do instantly. And so it's the perfect firming source of power. So when your renewables dip or you have a big spike in power supply, you can just fire up a gas turbine and get your power that way. Problem is, again, Australia's created this situation where we've made that form of power, firming power, incredibly expensive and uneconomic. And that's basically the cause of, much of Australia's energy problems. And it doesn't have to be this way. As I said before, we are the Saudi Arabia of gas. The situation has gotten so absurd in Australia that now they're planning to build an import terminal so that Australia can import gas because we've created this artificial shortage of gas domestically. Now, just to make viewers understand how obscene this is, can you imagine Saudi Arabia, who's the world's biggest oil exporter, building an import terminal to import oil because the Saudi Arabian government and industry have created an artificial oil shortage in Saudi Arabia? Alternatively, can you imagine a situation where Saudi Arabians are paying $2 a litre for petrol when they're the biggest oil exporter in the world? Well, that's effectively what we're doing for gas, and then that's filtering on electricity. We've created this shortage where we are the biggest exporter in the world, but we're also paying some of the highest prices in the world.